tayo po ay nagbabalik dito sa Usapang Bayan at kasama pa rin natin si COL Financial President, Mr. Dino Bate. Dino, we were talking about the mutual funds, no? And I know that Rich is so interested in that. We'll let her ask the questions on the mutual funds.
Sir, yung mutual funds po, you said earlier, in one basket, may 32 companies.
Yes.
So, for example, I have 5,000 pesos. I can buy those 32 companies?
Yes. With 5,000.
Through the mutual fund.
Through a mutual fund. Because mutual fund collects all this money and invests it to the stocks that they have identified that they will invest in, which is the index. And the index is a composition determined by the Philippine Stock Exchange. Every year, nire-review nila yan. Every 6 months, nire-review nila, o anong kumpanya nandito sa 32 nito, ito ba are good representations of the whole market? Are these the best companies? And they say, kung hindi na ito magaling, tanggalin. So just like in the US, the 32, the Dow Jones is an index there they call. There's 30 companies there. To this date, there's only one that's from the very beginning. Napaltan na. Because napaltan na ng mga bagong pangalan, whether it be Apple, whether it be, just like in the country also, there are new corporations that are flourishing. And therefore, you have this fund automatically rebalances what's good and what's not good without you doing anything. And it'll cost you nothing. As I said, when you buy a mutual fund to COL, you don't have to pay anything. It's for free. No joke, it's for free.
Maybe I should.
So your
Check that
5,000,
later.
so when you put 5,000, 5,000 is invested. Walang 5,000, 4,099 na tinanggal kong 10 pesos kasi wala. It's 5,000 directly.
Naku, Dino, paano ba ako maka-open ng account dyan? Naunahan pa ako ni Rachel.
So ganun yun. So because what we want to really do is help the Filipino, whatever savings they have, to invest it. Dapat yun ang mangyayari sa kanila kasi we have to give them a chance. We have to make everybody, be rich. And when we ask our customers, what is the definition of being rich? You'd be surprised what the Filipino will say. Do you think it's an amount of money? To our surprise, it wasn't. It was a lifestyle. To them, being rich was being able to help others without having to worry about myself.
Just to give people an idea, no, in terms of investing in these index funds, what was the rate of return, let's say, last year for these?
25%. Wow. For the past, I have a slide, for the past 5 years, I think it has been close to 9% a year. But I think if you include last year, it will go back to 12. So 12% per annum. So where can you get that?
Wow. So that means to say that even though we're at an all-time high now, and you still get in, maybe this year might not move, but then again, over a 5
the year
year
after
time,
it may move, it will start moving again, right? This year, baka magagulo, magulo, meaning there's some noise outside, inside.
Shouldn't we wait until there's blood on the streets and then we buy?
No, because it may not come.
It may not come.
Right? It may not come, then you'll be left out. By timing it, that's difficult. It's really, looking like in a crystal ball, and we don't have that crystal ball. We don't know what will happen, right? But what we know, the Philippines is in a growth trajectory. We are at a sweet spot. We are growing much faster than what we were growing 10 years ago. 10 years, it was 4 to 5%. Now it's 6 to 7. Hopefully, with this train and with this, new tax
Stimulus.
Stimulus, the infrastructure that is going on, it grows 7 to 8. So what do you think the stock market will grow?
The current index is at 9,000, you said?
Almost 9,000 already.
And what is the all-time high of the index?
That's the all-time high
This
now.
is the all-time high.
We're all-time high now. We're at the all-time high. And I think the Philippines has still a long way to go.
No, but you were saying that the rate of return for last year was 25%.
Yes.
What was the index a year ago?
Up to.
Yeah.
Prior to that, down 3. So, wala, flat. It consolidated for 2 years. When what normally happens is that it consolidated for 2 years because people weren't sure
where it's going,
whether the economy would be able to grow at a faster pace. But now, people are more convinced, especially with the new administration that is more, with the Build project, program. They're more confident that this is that a lot of investments are going to come to this country.
Sir, maliban po sa stock market, sa mutual funds, meron din po tayong tinatawag na bonds. Ano naman po ito?
Bonds are what they call is indebtedness. It's a form of indebtedness of companies who try to raise money for their capital requirements.
Okay.
And they give you a specific rate of return over a period of time. Now, bond rates maybe are, for a 7-year, for a good company, maybe it'll be about 4.5 to 4.7% return per annum. So that's what kind of return, but you have to hold it for 7 years. Now, that's 4%. So some people are happy with that. Some people think that it's not too much. It's just, it appeals to people who are trying to, what they call, protect their wealth.
Okay. So among these three, sir, what do you recommend for like millennials like me?
Millennials, of course, you have to have the highest return, which is the stock
Okay,
market.
Stock market.
Stock
Okay,
market
sir.
yan talaga. That's the only way you can really do it. And you can do it now because your capacity to earn is still very long. Unlike a guy who's in their 45, 50, 45 is now 20 years, 55 is 10 years. And I have a slide. I mean, I hope I can show the slide. I have the slide that shows that time is really the most essential part of investing. The longer time you have, the greater chance to meet your target. I don't know if they can show the slide. It shows a slide that...
Which slide is that?
It's the slide that shows the different types of personalities. A 25-year-old, a
Yeah,
35-year-old,
maybe we can,
a 45-year-old.
we can put the
which
slide on screen.
shows you the kind of amount of money. Like a 25-year-old, to reach 20 million at age 65, only invest for 20 years.
Yeah.
There.
Is that the one?
Yes. See?
Okay.
For a 25-year-old, you only need to put 4,000 a month. And you have to hold it for about 45, invest only up to 45. So for 20 years, naguhulog ka ng 4,000 a month. At age 65, you'll have 20 million. Is that okay to retire?
20 million.
Okay. Now if you're
Pagtsatsagaan na ni Rachel.
Now, if you're 35 years old, sabi mo, na-delay na ako, 35, kasi nung 25 ako, gusto ko
Habol ka.
mag-enjoy eh. Ngayon, 35, medyo meron akong disposable income, you have to put 10,000 a month. Hold it up to 55, invest for another 20 years, hold it to 65, that will give you 20 million. Same again at 45, but see, it gets bigger and bigger as you delay it. That's the problem. And as you get older, your expenses also rise because you have children, you have all these other expenses you have to make.
And
So
you get
it's not
older,
so easy.
you need more medical
Yes.
attention.
Medical attention,
Tama.
whatever. But see, it's time is the only difference.
I have a question on that because you're really focusing on the stock market. No?
Yes.
And you said that don't put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, diversify.
Yes.
So aside from the stock market, are there any other investment alternatives that you're looking at that perhaps they should invest in?
Of course, it's also good. I mean, of course, what we just say is that what we put in the stock market is what the equation that I use for myself is 100 less your age. It's what you put in the stock market. The balance you put in other assets, whether it be bonds, whether it be you have to have an emergency fund, which is a time deposit lang, or money
Real estate
market,
or whatever.
or real estate. But stock market to me, kasi it's the most liquid eh. Ang kagandahan ng stock market, you can sell it anytime.
Yes.
Hindi ka na real estate, medyo
Mahirap.
mahanap pa ng broker.
Mahirap.
hanap-
Gastos ang
Tapos may tax ka pa ba,
transaction.
may friction cost ka pa, malaki. Ito, mababa lang ang friction cost mo. So that's my rule of thumb. That's what I would follow.
Oh, that's a good rule of thumb.
So even
what is
so
it again?
if you're
100 less
less
your age,
So if
you
you're
can
80
put
years
in
old,
the stock market.
if you're 80 years old, 20% should be in the stock market.
Okay.
Because you need that return eh. Kasi kailangan may return eh. May kicker eh. Kailangan may kicker eh.
Para makinabangan mo naman yung
Pera mo
advances
eh.
ng economy.
Oo, you have to be able to do that eh.
Sir, this is actually a question from one of our reporters. What's your opinion regarding the cryptocurrency?
I think cryptocurrency is attracting a lot of, the millennials because of the returns that are happening. But we know it's a bubble. It's a bubble today. And the reason why it's a bubble is because...
Diretsahan, bubble.
No, it's a bubble. I'm saying it's a bubble because the kind of growth you're seeing, the reason why it's growing the way it's growing is one, it's not regulated.
It's the bandwagon effect.
No, it's not regulated. Walang regulation yan eh. So
Yes.
when the government starts to regulate this or somebody regulates it, then it cannot have that kind of growth. Today, it's,
It's very volatile,
It's
actually.
a flow of money. And people, what they've done is they've tried to even reduce the amounts that you need to be able to participate. Right? So, binite-size nila yan. Now, yun ang mga problema dyan is that, of course, buyers beware. It's a party that's going on, but when the music stops, who's holding the bass?
So para palang pyramiding yan.
Hindi naman pyramid. But I'm just saying that yun ang problema dyan.
Yeah. It's
Right?
not regulated kasi.
Yes, and so you have but of course the returns are very attractive, and no doubt we have not seen that kind of returns, but we all know that ends into somebody getting hurt eventually. That's what I don't know when it can last another 5 years or it can last only 6 months, whatever. But we know there's no such thing as that kind of return that can be sustained.
Unlike in the stock market.
In the stock market, but it's decent. It moves with the economy. It moves with the economy.
No, and there's the underlying value that you
Yes,
can understand,
yes.
where they're making the money.
Yes, and these people are really growing the companies. So that's the difference there. So cryptocurrency, I guess, if you want to participate, if you just have to manage the size. You put a small amount of money and just leave it there. But that's all it is. You can't put more. You can't put your life savings. You can't put money that you need for something else in this investment. Or else it could really hurt you, and it could be life changing.
Sir, hingi po ako ng tips. Ano po ba saan po ba ako magandang mag-invest sa stock market this 2018?
I think 2018 is going to be very tricky. Tricky in the sense that interest rates and inflation is going to play a role in our investments. Meaning, we think interest rates will go up this year, so there's going to be pressure for for money to look for. There'll be other choices. Unlike before, interest rates were not, so it's slightly start to move up. And of course, because of where the market is today, we're talking about short term. Okay, you have to understand we're just looking at this year. But of course, this year it really is a year that is started off in a good start. But because of where it is today, a lot of the good news is slowly being priced in. What do you mean by priced in? The burden of proof is now being passed on to the economy to deliver what the market is saying.
They already took into account the good things.
The good things. So if there's any disappointment, such as GDP growth does not meet their targets, it's below 6%, we have a problem. If corporate earnings don't really deliver, because although there's a lot of disposable income, but because of these infrastructure bottlenecks, these companies cannot do anything anymore. They can only produce so much because wala na, the ports are full. Everything is they're in full capacity. They can't do anything anymore unless the airports, the ports are decongested, the roads, whatever, traffic is addressed.
So kailangan humabol yung infrastructure.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of this is being priced in now on the short term, but long term, no doubt, this is still the best place to put money.
Well, Dino, we're almost at the tail end of our program, and we have a couple of minutes left. Maybe I can turn over the floor to you so you can explain to the people, let's say, how to get in touch with COL Financial, what do they need to do to understand the market, like you said that you were offering free seminars, and how do they get in touch with you? Do you have a Facebook page, a website, or a phone number?
Okay, thank you, George. Thank you for the opportunity. I think first and foremost that people who are watching this program today should understand that investing is for everyone. No matter what age, what financial background, income level, or knowledge that you have, investing should be part of your life. It should be a discipline that everybody should start adopting. And the way to do it is that, here at COL, what we do is we provide free seminars. Free seminars for everybody. Don't be worried that you'll be left out, that the market went up 25% last year. So late na ako sa game na to. This game is going to be long term. And this country has still a long way to go. Our per capita is below 3,000 per person. That's still way behind our neighbors like Thailand is already maybe 12 or even 8,000 per capita. So malayo pa tayo, malayo pang Pilipinas. And this is really our time. And you have to learn how to do it and understand the disciplines that you have to adopt to be able to be successful in investing. Everybody can make money in the stock market as long as they follow those disciplines. The stock market moves up and down, but over time it continues to grow. If you even look at the stock market since 1986 to today, there are more years that it made money than lose, despite all these crises that we went to, coup d'etats, ERA, financial crisis. The markets still continue to grow. And so that's why people just look at what they can see, but they don't really understand the whole thing. So understand investing.
How do they get in touch with you?
They will have to go to, we're online. So you can go to our website, which I think you can flash the screen.
There we go.
So our website is www.colfinancial.com. There are lists of seminars that you can attend for free. We have a Pasig office, we have a Makati office, where you can now go there for free and sign up for a free seminar.
Okay.
Or you can send an email to our help desk and ask the schedules. We'll be glad to help you, or call us in our help desk line.
Well, time flies when you're having fun. We're at the end of our program. Yan po ang isang makabuluhang diskusyon kasama si COL Financial President, Mr. Conrado, Dino Bate.
Thank you very much, sir, for the tips. Maaari niyo po kami i-follow at i-like sa aming Facebook page, Usapang Bayan. Ako po si Rich Marquez.
At ako po si George Chua. Samahan niyo po kami muli sa mga susunod pa nating episodes dito sa Usapang Bayan. So we'll just